The Enlightenment, spanning the 17th and 18th centuries, was a period of intellectual and philosophical awakening in Europe. Thinkers championed reason, logic, and individual liberty as guiding principles for society. This era challenged traditional authority, particularly the church and monarchy. Enlightenment thinkers emphasized scientific inquiry and critical thinking, leading to breakthroughs in science, politics, and social reform. Key figures like John Locke, Isaac Newton, and Jean-Jacques Rousseau shaped the Enlightenment discourse. Locke's ideas on natural rights and limited government influenced revolutions in America and France. Newton's scientific discoveries revolutionized our understanding of the universe. Rousseau's writings explored concepts of social contract and popular sovereignty. The Enlightenment wasn't without its flaws, but its impact on Western thought and values remains undeniable. Woke culture, a more recent phenomenon, centers around social justice and awareness of systemic inequalities. It calls attention to issues like racism, sexism, homophobia, and transphobia. Those who identify as woke strive to be alert to and actively combat prejudice and discrimination in all its forms. They advocate for marginalized communities and strive for a more equitable society. Critics of woke culture often accuse it of being overly sensitive, promoting cancel culture and stifling free speech. They argue that its focus on identity politics divides rather than unites society. Proponents, however, maintain that woke culture is about fostering empathy, holding people accountable for harmful actions, and creating a more just world. The term itself has become politically charged, with different interpretations shaping the ongoing debate. Both the Enlightenment and woke culture gained momentum through the dissemination of ideas and the formation of communities. During the Enlightenment, salons and coffee houses became hubs for intellectual discourse. Printed materials like pamphlets and books spread Enlightenment thought far and wide. Similarly, woke culture thrives on social media platforms like Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. These platforms provide spaces for sharing experiences, amplifying marginalized voices, and mobilizing for social change. However, the speed and reach of online communication also present challenges. Misinformation and echo chambers can easily form, exacerbating divisions. The Enlightenment, while impactful, unfolded over generations. The rapid evolution of woke culture online makes nuanced dialogue and critical engagement more challenging. Section 4. Pushback is inevitable resistance in two eras. Resistance is a natural response to any movement challenging the status quo. The Enlightenment faced opposition from religious institutions threatened by its emphasis on reason and individual liberty. Monarchies viewed Enlightenment ideals as a threat to their authority. Similarly, woke culture faces resistance from those who perceive it as an attack on traditional values or a form of censorship. This resistance often manifests as pushback against diversity initiatives, attempts to restrict discussions on race and gender in schools, and online harassment of activists. It's important to note that resistance doesn't automatically equate to being wrong. Constructive criticism can help movements refine their messages and strategies. However, when resistance morphs into suppression of ideas or silencing of dissent, it becomes detrimental to open dialogue and progress. Section 5. Hindsight is 2020. Learning from the past. Future generations should study both the Enlightenment and the woke movement, not to replicate them exactly, but to understand the dynamics of social change. The Enlightenment reminds us of the power of reason, critical thinking, and the ongoing pursuit of knowledge. Woke culture highlights the importance of social justice, inclusivity, and challenging systems of oppression. History teaches us that progress is rarely linear. Both movements have generated positive change while also facing criticism and encountering unintended consequences. By studying these historical parallels, future generations can learn to navigate complex social issues with greater nuance and wisdom. Section 6. Finding the middle ground. Balance is key. In an increasingly polarized world, finding a middle ground is crucial for meaningful dialogue and progress. Extremism on either end of the spectrum often hinders productive conversations. Engaging with diverse perspectives, listening with empathy, and being willing to adjust our own views are essential for navigating complex issues. Instead of viewing the Enlightenment and woke culture as opposing forces, we can learn from both. Embracing critical thinking, advocating for justice, and engaging in respectful dialogue are values that transcend any particular era. By finding the balance between acknowledging historical context and embracing progress, we can create a more inclusive and equitable future.